easily do that. We call them brown bag lunches. Or brown,
Yeah.
And we have one that is coming up March 13th. I think you're just starting to put the promotion out for.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be at Dalhousie on Friday, March 13th at noon, from over the lunch hour, noon to 1, with Dr. David Flint from Dalhousie, and I think he's going to be talking about a study he did on rural immigration in Nova Scotia.
He's actually from St. Mary's.
Oh, he's from St. Mary's. Forgive me. So we'll send out some more information to you about that.
He did a very interesting typology of the type of people who it's the Truro that he's looking at, and the type of people and the rationale for why they chose a rural community in Nova Scotia. And it's really very interesting.
If there was some research that really impacted on the work of NGOs, it would be great if that brown bag lunch could happen here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we'd be
absolutely.
happy to, and we can provide we can provide drinks and stuff like that. That's
I don't think drinks are fun, but just the time to go to Dal
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
ridiculous, but
No, I know.
the chances of any of us going to Dal for lunch
That's a really good
is
point.
almost zero.
Yeah.
Really, much as we would like to do that, just because it's at Dal and you have to do your
Yeah.
clients and programs and.
We'd love to do stuff here. Just give us ideas as to what you'd like.
I have a question. I just want to get back to your, what you were saying about getting the knowledge out into the communities. Are you, and you're doing that, 50-page paper into a smaller policy paper, are you using any more common forms of getting the information out so that they're actually getting to people, like journalism, like newspapers and community newspapers and radio spots, so that that information is really getting disseminated in a nice, plain language way to the community as a whole, not just to an academic community or an NGO community, but to the people.
The extent to which the media is willing to report on anything is up to them, not us. So we can contact the media and say, look, we have this really interesting thing happening or a piece of research being done, and then whether or not they pick it up is up to them.
But you do approach the
Oh, yeah, we have
the community newspapers, not just the dailies, but the smaller weeklies and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, we have.
Curious.
But not, I have to say, not in a huge way. No, it's, I think the last time we got a lot of community coverage was we had the Metropolis Conference in Halifax last year in April. We got really, really good coverage of the various topics that to get their attention, something has to be happening.
Just related to that, how open are the universities here to presentations of research that are other than the written form, as in video
Very.
or
Oh, absolutely,
other
yeah,
mediums? that are
absolutely, yeah.
interesting?
If you see, for example, the way we now teach our introductory classes in the second year, I read somewhere that a first-year student has a 5-minute attention span. So you have to switch the method, ideally, every 5 to 10 minutes, switch what you're doing. So there's standing in front of an audience. I mean, my students would be half asleep by now, it's been an hour, right? You have to do everything. You have to do videos, you have to do interactive stuff, you have to do, everything under the sun. So we're getting really actually quite good.
You're competing with their Facebook page.
You're competing with everything, and they're a generation who doesn't read, right? They're everything, and are very visual, and so you have to constantly, And funders are very into alternative forms of, but I don't think they even call it alternative anymore, into more dynamic forms of knowledge translation.
Do you guys only work with organizations? Do you also partner with individuals on research projects, or does it have to be like an organization, or like do you find academic researchers who are interested in a similar question to partner with individuals?
No, we do it with partnerships with individuals. I worked with Carmen Selena here on a project on parenting a few years ago, and that was, she did work for MISA, but it was really 3 of us working together on the
Okay,
project.
so you do your approachable as an individual.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But sometimes we want MISA as a partner And that's, so you can either come on as the organization as a partner or an individual within the organization, or someone who is just very interested in the issue at hand, doesn't have to.
The other thing in knowledge transmission is, and especially here in Halifax, where we have a relatively small immigrant community, and we tend to interview almost everybody the same over and over and over for the different. And people start getting tired in
Yep.
terms of, so how the research process can become also an opportunity for immigrant community, not just to know that that piece will inform policies that will in the future, but also how can this process can be useful for the people to participate, how kind of a change, learning is change, so I'm providing you information, so how the academics, the researchers also can share information they have about, I don't know, or how this process can also help people to move in a short term,
Yeah, but basically, it's really trying to encourage academic research to do participatory research.
Yeah.
And that very much then involves a sense of ownership on the part of the community, that this research is being done with them and for them. And that is, some of us try to operate in that way, not everyone does. There are still a lot of very traditional types of research that look at research questions that are like way up here and that don't appear to have any practical value, which potentially it could though. I mean, I don't take anything away from that. But yes, a community that doesn't feel that they are getting anything back or can't see instant results is going to get very tired of participating. And I don't have any easy answer for that at all, except to just, like I said, in terms of Metropolis and what you do here at NISA, if we can develop a better plan of communication or something so that we know what you need way before the strategic grant thing comes up, because what you said is very true, but what happens is that researchers have, let's say, 3 months to get a proposal together. And they do other things. It's on the back of their minds. They don't come to you in time to ask you, what would you like to do? They already have an idea, and then they come to you. And even if you might think it's a good idea, it's still, I'm sure from your perspective, you'd rather someone come and sit down and say, okay, I'm interested in this subject, but not already have the whole question formulated. But that's something, again, that it's just going to take time, and some of the other centers who've been around for 10 years have developed very workable relationships around that kind of thing, and hopefully we will too.
With more lead time and more careful planning as we get into this, I could see a situation where some of the research is actually built right into what we're doing, so that it's
Yeah.
not like separate over
Yes.
here. It's
Yeah.
something that, we're asking the questions as a part of delivering the service with the full consent and understanding of our clients, and that way it's not pulling us away from what we do,
That's
and
it.
it's integrated in, and it could even be things like our own longitudinal study of what happens
Absolutely.
to immigrants in Nova Scotia and where they go, and could we follow up with you? We do some of that ourselves anyway.
And the thing is with that, and that's where I've always preferred the research framework or research agenda approach, because you can have a topic, and then if you can break it down into its small parts, then you could say, well, some of this stuff we can't afford to do right now, but some we are actually already collecting. And if we collect it in such and such a way, we will actually have this at the end of 2 years. Yeah.
Has Metropolis because I'm new to the area and I'm new to MISA, so has Metropolis and MISA and other NGOs actually had like a brainstorming session on research projects so that there's a list, and then it's not sort of out of the blue, but they actually have a list of stuff that researchers are already kind of interested in, and so that it's sort of a
We have